cycling, just learning to bike, enjoying the beauty of Auckland, but putting them mixed up with cars can be quite a dangerous proposition. So that's the idea of what we're trying to do, keep our young people safe, but encouraging them to do that. Second thing I think is that the shape of Auckland's actually changing, and we know there's enormous debates on about housing, but that's going to manifest itself in two things. Obviously the city's spreading out, but also the city intensifying and going up. And that's going to mean that increasingly large numbers of people live in the CBD, around that sort of area where you've got the university and you've got a lot of different things going on. CRL is part of that to sort of link people around, give them the options for transport, but increasingly I think you will see people living in apartments and actually using cycleways as a way of getting around where they don't want to walk and they do want to get around, a relatively short space of downtown Auckland. So that's the aim. We've done a number of things around cycling that you're aware of. Obviously the great rides, which are sort of out in the countryside and very rural, but doing amazingly well. I think we had well over 130,000 people on them in January alone. But this is part of the urban cycleway development, and it's a different proposition, but it's very good. The only other last thing I want to do is sort of salute Auckland Transport and just generally the Transport Agency, who, despite all the things that we've been doing, have been working on a much more aggressive basis recently at understanding that cycling and cycleways have to be an integral part of new developments that they do. And that's a really welcome addition. I think you are seeing a lot more forward planning happening there. So it's definitely part of the DNA now of the Transport Agency, and that's a good thing. So anyway, thank you for having me here. I look forward to cutting the ribbon and riding the bike. My DPS guys have told me don't fall off. It's like riding a bike, you never forget. And I'm sure Simon's getting up to say a few words in a minute. I just told him before, the really cool thing about me speaking before you is I get to steal your speech. So like Simon, come up with something creative, innovative, but also don't do so good a job that you make me look poor. Treating a fine balance there. Nikki is with us today, and Nikki would like to be Minister of Transport. She likes the portfolio she's got. She's told me privately she would do a far better job than you. I told her I'd never share that, but you just get that balance right, son. Or you're gone, she's in, you're on your bike. This is a cabinet reshuffle in the public domain. Fantastic.
Prime Minister, that's probably the best sort of policy restructure I've done for a long time. Perhaps we could start using that within transport too. Minister Simon, I'm almost apprehensive to invite you. And I'm sure it'll be wonderful, and we look forward to working with you for a long time in the future. Welcome to the stage, Simon. Kia ora, kia ora. Hey, I'm going to start by acknowledging the Minister for ACC and Civil Defence. And long may that continue. Nikki Kay, member of Auckland, she does a great job. Prime Minister for Cycleways. And I think in all seriousness, there's a huge amount of credit for where we are today and what's happening. Mayor Brown, Mayor of Trains, I think, actually, and a few other things as well, and a big part of the success of what we're celebrating, that momentum that's happening here right at the moment. And I just acknowledge you, Lester and David and AT, and I know some of your board members, Fergus, and some of your team from the Transport Agency, integral to success of what's happening, and I see a sea of councillors and so on who've been hugely important in, what I think is a massive part of the success and the work and that, I think the right word, actually, aggression that we're seeing and going into Auckland at the moment across the board in transport that's been part of ATAP, and it's fantastic. I just acknowledge also other members of Parliament here, Alfred and also I think Mana Whenua for their role. I was last night at a walking and cycling awards, and I see some of you who were doing the tango or the chart. What's it called? Yeah, all manner of things went on last night anyway. And it was a fantastic night. And I say huge congratulations to everyone involved in the Light Path. And Prime Minister and I were debating whether it's magenta or pink or what it is, but anyway, truly a word that's overused, but iconic project, and Auckland should be hugely proud of it. But what I really took from last night was this amazing buzz and energy at the conference, and some of you told me, having gone for several years, it's never been like that before, and I think that it does speak to really what people are cycling in Auckland, who are using these cycleways. Government and with Auckland push that even further and harder. And I think what's so exciting is we're building up here in the CBD a network around which you can get, and as we put more parts of that puzzle together, more and more are coming onto it, and we're going to see that web, if you like, extend out through the city, out into the further reaches, and we're incredibly ambitious about that. Can I just say the context of this really is an urban cycleway program, $333 million, and that's not all from government, it's from the NZTA, it's from the councils around the country, and it's a step change that it's delivering. And the Prime Minister mentioned, of course, the cycle trails as well. You put that in and you've got, I think, another, including private money, 100 million or thereabouts going in, so it's a very big investment that's part of the momentum that we're seeing. And I think, as the Prime Minister said, fundamentally it's about making cycling safer and therefore a more attractive proposition for New Zealanders from very young to very old. And that's fantastic, because we all in this room know the benefits of that in terms of the social, the cultural, the transport, but also the health benefits. And so it's just great to be here for another small but significant part of the puzzle, a kilometre here that's going to make getting around the CBD so much better. Kia ora, thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister. I'm sure you've survived. It's really good to have with us now the Chairman of Auckland Transport, Dr. Lester Levy. Lester will be talking to us about the big picture, and of course cycling is a key mode that we're working on. Chairman.
Thank you. Well, as the Prime Minister said, Auckland is growing and changing. Around the city centre, around and across the whole region, you can hear it, you can see it, and you can use it. Now, just 5 weeks ago, we stood just a few hundred metres away to kick off the CRL. So what have the CRL and Quay Street Cycleway got in common? They actually seem like projects that are world apart, but they do have critical similarities. They both present new and different opportunities for Aucklanders to move around our city. They present a real alternative for people to shift out of using their cars, and they actually represent a close collaboration between the government, the council, NZTA and AT. And I'd very much like to thank you, Prime Minister and Minister Bridges, for your absolute commitment and contribution to Auckland, and in particular transport projects and walk-ins. We can't do this without the government, and as has been said, there is a closer relationship and more aggression in how we tackle these problems. This particular cycleway is part and will form part of a connected cycleway network, which is probably larger and closer to connection than most people realise. Personally, I intend to press the team to go much quicker in order to connect up the cycleway, and there's a reason for that. If you take, and this actually comes out of a highly reputable international study about the capacity of a 3.5 metre roadway, the hourly maximum capacity for different transport modes. Mixed traffic, as we have in our normal case, is 2,000. If we take advantage of technology with the emergence of connected driverless vehicles, that'll bring it up to 3,600, nearly double. What is it with cycling? 14,000. That's 5,000 more than bus. The only thing that will beat that will be rapid transit bus, and not by that much, light rail and train, of course. So this is a realistic, defensible, real possibility for changing the way in which we move around the city and to actively deal with congestion. I always take the opportunity with my health hat on to remind people that people who cycle to work are on average 5 kilograms lighter than people who sit in their car. Okay. And the benefits of that are the two most important diseases that are non-communicable are high blood pressure and diabetes. And if you can get 5 kilograms off, you're much less likely to get either one of those. This cycleway is quite strategic. It's in a very strategic place, and we believe that this street will evolve into a coastal boulevard over time. The cycleway has been built to be adaptive, so it can be taken apart and it can adapt and move with how the coastal boulevard will and must develop, because Auckland's waterway and this kind of environment we have is the envy of almost every city in the world. This is the most important part of Auckland in terms of beauty, and right at the moment we are actively pursuing and progressing the cycleway from Glen Innes to Tamaki Drive. That will be one of the most picturesque cycleways in this country, and that'll finally connect up to the cycleway. So cycling is not just fun, but it is fun. Cycling is a real opportunity for us to make part of our multimodal solution to addressing the congestion problems in Auckland. So I'd like to thank everybody who's been involved, our great staff, everybody who's pushed us, and I will be pushing our staff even more than we have before, because connecting the cycleway is absolutely critical. Thank you.
Thank you, Lester. I now understand why Nikki's here, because we're obviously going to get a health benefits and ACC funding process as well. It's nothing like being joined up in a whole series of areas. Thank you, really appreciate that. The only thing that did worry me was that it looks like if we thought we were running fast, we're actually going to have to run faster. So that's all bodes well for the future. Now it's my pleasure to welcome to worship the Mayor, our last speaker for the morning, and we really look forward to what you have to say to us. Thank you, Len.
Kaki mai, haere mai, haere mai, haere mai. E te iwi nā te whātua o Arake. Kia ora koutou katoa, Roranga Terama Matt and Bob, Bobby. Kia ora koutou katoa, e kui mai, koro mā nungreira tēnā koutou katoa. And to everyone on Māori Te Reo Week, kia ora and good morning. It's great to see you all. Prime Minister, first of all I want to acknowledge you. Suits on bikes, Prime Minister, that's what we are today. So I've got my bike clips, I hope that someone or other's got one for the Prime Minister to get out there, something for his tie. Prime Minister, it is entirely appropriate that you should be opening this. Prime Minister, opening Key Street. It's just a really good look. He's got the key to the door. Prime Minister, I want to acknowledge you, firstly, for your leadership in this space. I remember when you became the Prime Minister, you had 3 key projects, and one of them is get a cycleway around the country. People have got to get on their bikes, get healthy, and this is a great thing for our community. And you've sort of morphed that into Urban Cycleway Fund, $330 million, as Simon has said, and it's just so huge for us. So I want to acknowledge everyone, put your hands together for the Prime Minister. Great. Simon, you are going to be the Minister for a long time. Look, beautifully pitched speech. Definitely, Prime Minister was just loving every single minute of that. So, Simon talked as the Minister about the fact that we've been having the cycling and pedestrian conference in Auckland. It's been huge. I see a lot of people from the Cycling Advocate Network around here. I want to honour you all for your leadership. We're all standing here. You put a lot of pressure on the Prime Minister and government. Nikki, it's great to see you. A lot of pressure on the Prime Minister government, a lot of pressure on me and our council and Auckland Transport Board. Lester, I want to acknowledge you too, and David. Great pressure to ensure that we actually get the work done. So last night, as a reflector of that, the Minister of Transport last night receives a special award for leadership in the cycling role. Simon, that is a great credit. You Lester and David have acknowledged you, and you are absolutely leading with your organisation, the directors and the organisation Revolution for Transport in our city. The full integrated transport model is really what we're looking at, and today is reflective of that. Over the last week anyhow, a couple of weeks, opening the City Rail Link, doing the key cycleway here today, and then we're going out to the west to actually deal with some of the new changes in the Western roading network. So this is about transformation in our city and integrated transport networks. I want to acknowledge my political colleagues who've sat beside me and supported us through this, and we've done this very much together. Mike is a local councillor, Chris, I see you here, I can't see any other councillors, the local board leadership, Charlotte, Pippa, for your particular advocacy, and the local board members. You've done a great job, and we are working in a cohesive fashion to deliver out behind the government's strong focus on an integrated transport network, organisation's strong focus, and our strong focus to deliver a intermodal transport outcome for our city. Anyhow, Prime Minister, I'm standing between us all and the bikes and the opening of this wonderful Key Street cycleway. The last thing I'd like to say is, and looking at Chris there, we're going to have in due course, because of course we're dealing with SkyPath right now, Prime Minister, and you've agreed CPath, Fergus, good on NZTA, it's great for them to support that. CPath, onto the bridge, SkyPath, and then 17 kilometres of cycle and walkway from Devonport out to St Heliers. I mean, that is such a great vision. And this sits right in the middle. Oh man, I can't wait. Anyhow, enough. So let's go and open up a cycleway with our cycle clips. Kia ora koutou katoa.